The derivative of trigonometric functions are as follows. The derivative of sine x is cosine x. The derivative of cosine x is negative sine x. The derivative of tangent of x is secant squared x. The derivative of cotangent x is negative cosecant squared x. The derivative of secant x is tangent x multiplied by secant x. And finally, the derivative of cosecant x is negative cotangent x multiplied by cosecant x. We'll start off with an easy problem. Let's differentiate sine of x squared. So in order to differentiate this, we're going to use the chain rule. So first we're going to differentiate sine, and then we're going to differentiate the argument of sine, which in this case is x squared. So derivative of sine x squared is equal to, the derivative of sine is cosine. So we have cosine. The argument stays the same for now. Now we take derivative, we multiply this by the derivative of the argument, which is x squared. And as we all know, the derivative of x squared is just 2x. So this is your final answer. Now we're going to try a harder problem. Let's take the derivative of x squared times cosecant x. So if we want to derive this, we're going to have to use the product rule. So the product rule is f prime g plus g prime f. So let's split up x squared times cosecant x, and we'll call x squared f, and we'll call cosecant x g. So now we have to use this product rule. So f prime and g, so f prime is 2x multiplied by g. G is just cosecant x, plus g prime f. So let's differentiate cosecant. If you memorized all the trig, different derivatives of trig functions, you should know cosecant. The derivative of cosecant is negative cotangent x cosecant x. So that's g prime in this case. So we're going to add this to negative cotangent x times cosecant x. And then f is just x squared. So if you simplify this, we'll get 2x cosecant x minus x squared cotangent x cosecant x. This is the final answer. This is the derivative of x squared cosecant x. For our third problem, let's have f of t equals tangent of the square root of 4 plus t squared, and we're trying to find the f prime of t. So in this case, we're going to have to use the chain rule. So first, let's work from the outside in. Let's take the derivative of tangent x. The derivative of tangent x is secant, and then x in this case is the argument stays the same. So we have 4 plus t squared. And then we have to square the argument because the derivative of tangent x is secant squared x, which is the same as secant argument squared. Now let's take the derivative of the square root of 4 plus t squared. So the derivative of that, so hold on, 4 plus t squared can be rewritten as 1/2 4 plus, actually, this can be rewritten as 4 plus t squared to the 1/2. That equals, if you take the derivative of this, the derivative of 4 plus t squared to the 1/2, we get 1/2 4 plus t squared to the negative 1/2. This is equal to 1/2 times the square root of 4 plus t squared. So this is the derivative of this. So this is the derivative of the argument in here. So let's write that. We're going to multiply everything we have so far by the derivative. So this is multiplied by 1 over 2 times the square root of 4 plus t squared. And finally, our last thing we did in the chain rule is you have to take the derivative of t squared. In that case, that is just 2t. So your final answer, f prime of t, will equal secant the square root times the secant the square root of 4 plus t squared, or secant squared of the square root of 4 plus t squared, times 2t all over 2 times 4 plus t squared. The 2's can cancel out, and you'll be left with secant squared of 4 plus t squared all over, or times t here on the numerator. In the denominator, you'll just have 4 plus t squared. This is the derivative of tangent of the square root of 4 plus t squared. For our fourth and final problem, we have y equals e to the sine 4x plus sine of e to the 4x, and we want to find y prime. So our first step is, let's take the derivative of e sine of the 4x. So the derivative of e to the x is just e to the x, so we're just going to have e to the sine 4x multiplied by, and using the chain rule, we know we could, now we find the derivative of this part. So the derivative of sine is cosine, so we have cosine 4x. And then we still have to find the derivative of the argument of cosine, or the argument of sine. So the derivative of 4x is just 4. Now for the second part of this, we're going to have to use the product rule. So we have f prime g plus g prime f. We will call, actually we do not need to use the product rule, never mind. The derivative of sine is just cosine, argument is e to the 4x. Now we take the derivative of the argument of sine. So derivative, like I said earlier, the derivative of e to the x is just e to the x. So we're just going to be left with e to the 4x. Now we have to take the derivative of e to the power of 4x. So the derivative of, well, we have to take the derivative of 4x. So the derivative of 4x is just 4. So y prime equals, this is your final answer. This is the derivative of e sine of the 4x plus sine times, or sine of e to the 4x.